A-OK. We are getting a few things set up here. Go. There we go. Had a couple things come up. Running a little late today, but we out here. We out here. Today on the agenda, like we said, I believe it was 2 days ago, we said today we're coming back with picky mining. We're only going to be going for ridiculously good materials: quantanium, gold, bexylite, and terranite. Quantanium, gold, bexylite, terranite. I feel like there's a fourth: gold. If it's not one of those four things, we are not going to be picking it up. I think because we started a little late today, what we're going to do, see how we're feeling. See how we're feeling in the coming days. And, coming days. Ooh, gotta get the eye crusties out. There we go. No, they're not thinking for me. What we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be getting ready,
Willkommen,
getting going.
Palisades.
I did not just wake up. I woke up a little while ago. I had a few things come up before I passed out, and that kept me up a little later than anticipated. So yes, I am just getting up, but I have good reason for it. Slept through all my alarms because I had a few errands that I was not anticipating populate before I had to pass out. Let's see here. Getting ready for our daily read of Stuff White People Like by Christian Lander. So we've made it to number 25 of 150. Making good progress here. Let's see here. So, Stuff White People Like. David Sedaris. For many of you, this item will be confusing, as you'll be wondering who exactly this David Sedaris is. I don't know. He is a humorist who writes for The New Yorker and has several books including Barrel Fever and Holidays on Ice. His stuff is kind of funny, but white people will go crazy and will pay hundreds of dollars to hear him read his own book. Let me say that again. They will pay to see someone read from a book they have already read. They know the jokes are coming, they know the punchlines, but they feel the need to hear the author actually say them. White people universally love David Sedaris, so if they ever ask you, who are your favorite authors, you should always reply, David Sedaris. They will instantly launch into a story about how much they love his work, and the conversation will go from there. And you won't have to talk about books anymore. This is also safer than saying Jonathan Franzen, Dave Eggers, or Shakespeare. White people are divided on these authors and might actually ask you questions about why you like them. Stick with David Sedaris and you can't lose. If they do press you, just say, I read a lot and I never laugh out loud when I read, but David Sedaris is just brilliant. This advice will make white people respect you, trust you, and be more willing to invite you to their parties. Maybe I should read some David Sedaris. I don't know. This page is so I got this at a secondhand store, as you can see here, $3.99. The Exchange Valley Village. And this page is marked. Somebody really thought that this was gonna be like the thing. Somebody was like, yeah, Sidaris, got it. White annotated bibliography. Dave Eggers, a heartbreaking work of staggering genius. Honestly, I'm not afraid to call this the book of our generation. It captures all that are and aspire to be. Jonathan Safran Foer. Everything is illuminated. The book is incredible. The accented English literally jumps off the page and demands to be read aloud. Michael Chabon. The Amazing Adventures of Cavalier and Clay. His first book was good, but I think he really comes into his own as an author with this just a bunch of they put no, this is literally just a white annotated bibliography of a bunch of different authors. Nah, nobody cares about that shit. End of story. Anybody writing a biography has to be so. I don't know. How are you gonna be so into yourself that you're like, yeah, biography is my jam because everybody should know what my life is, and I'm gonna make it a book so that there's no easily consumable media for people to just get bullet points on. Who the fuck? Who? Excuse me? Excuse me. I just don't understand. That could not be me. That could not be me. Could not. 10,000 to the Atomic Heart Challenge. You better get your ally and savior Luna up in here to get that thing going. Y'all. You ever feel like your eyes are popping out of your head? Because I often feel like my eyes are popping out of my head. So again, the bullet point version of the day is that we are going to be doing some picky mining. Only the best. Only the best materials will go in the mold. Maybe we'll go for some, like, if it's split. Because normally when you get a really big rock of anything good, it's split with something that's not so good. So, we might pick up, like, a little... Excuse me. We might pick up a little bit of trash, just as is when it comes to this sort of thing. But... see? It's not really the plan.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
Here
Your vehicle has been delivered.
Hangar 4. It's always Hangar 4. I believe... Maybe some people can help me out here. When do we drop out of quantum again? Out to microtech? It was... 14... Not 14. What? Struggling here.
Systems activating. Systems on.
Just make sure our ship doesn't need any, Yep, repair.
You are clear to launch. You are clear to launch.
Quantum fuel 100%. Launch complete.
First flight of the day, the joysticks wanna fight back and give instruction of their own.
Landing gear up.
We're going to microtech.
Thank you. And please visit
Going to microtech. We're aiming at microtech. Big difference. Huge difference.
Quantum travel engaged.
I want to say it's like 16K to get out to the AAA Ron belt. Take a quick look here, see if I can't find a resource that I'm quite fond of. So it looks like gold is a 6%, Terranite is a 6.7%. Quantanium is 2% in the Aran belt. Exolite is a 7% in the Aran belt. So we have a 6, 7, 13, 15. $20 21.7% chance of finding what we're looking for in the yellow belt. So there we go. And just trying to pull up a couple of resources here. See where. Struggle lesson too hard on that. Was it 24? I'm really struggling to remember.
Quantum travel complete.
Definitely not 24. I remember it being 15, 1315 away from her L2. I know we've done this run a lot. I'm gonna need to pull it up. I am like hard blanking on how to get there right now. As a professional mining person, I am quite frustrated at this. Per L2 to Microtech, it's 26 to 25 million miles, or from Microtech to her L2, it's 12.7 to 11.4. Did we just like way overshoot? It's 12.7 to 11.4.
Quantum travel engaged.
How have we been finding the Aaron belt this entire time?
Quantum travel complete.
Well, wouldn't you know it? .7 to 11.14. So we'll go 12 in. We will go 12 in. Want to be in the thick of it, not like right out on the edge. I don't feel like skipping right on top of the stones in the asteroid belt and like potentially popping in and out and in and out. The belt's gotta be fully immersed experience.
Quantum travel engaged. Quantum travel complete.
And then we're just gonna take a second. Make Microtech our North Star. .26. That gut reaction to do 26 was so strong too. We basically had it, but we didn't trust ourselves. That is a shame, truly. All right, we're here though. And 1700, 1720, 1850. Let's go for the 1850s. Why not? Stretch out the back a little bit. Got an 1850, 5160 down there. I'll have to remember the 5160. We also got to remember that we're being real picky today. Real picky mining. I love asteroid mining. Asteroid mining is something that I wish we would put more money into in real life. Just as a globe. Imagine the resources. Imagine the opportunity for shared wealth that would be passed up near instantaneously.
Mining mode on.
Willkommen starke Tykatlofer.
Hello, welcome. Seems like a big rock. Right out the gate, 9K gold. How close are we to this sucker? Can't read that. I think it's 43. Scoot back a tiny bit. About 80. I feel like that's a good spacing. Today, for our hoodie, we've got ramen oxalotl. Ramen oxalotl, go burr. He's happy. You never quite know what kind of hoodie you want until you find it. Ain't nobody taking my hoodies.
Systems activating. Systems on.
So this is easy. Too easy. Too easy to just blow that one up in our faces. We're gonna go on over, getting our weak laser. Whew. Hoping for a good gold break. Since this is a picky run, nothing under, I want to say 60% gold in mass. Really trying to maximize profits here. Right.
Systems activating.
Medium? Okay.
Systems
I
on.
can mess with a medium. Be a little bit easier since we can actually expand that optimal zone, that little green nub. Makes things a little bit smoother for us. Turtles? No, those were taken from me by an individual that never had any intent of giving them back. It was a shame. I miss my turtle hoodies. Oh, come on, don't be like that. Just Stay right up in there. There we go. Iced tea, hell yeah. Looks like they're not gonna move too far, so we should be able to just hop on over. Scoop them all up. Here's hoping. One thing I'm hoping to see from the, like, new mining meta. Ooh. Love me some nice iced tea, unsweetened preferably. Nah, I need, like, a pound of sugar. But I also, when I think of iced tea, I make sun tea and then I ice it. I don't make sun tea for, like, 2 weeks out of the year up here. Back when I was living in Arizona, you could make sun tea all year round.
Activating. Systems on.
28% gold. Ugh. Bummer bust. I know I said minimum 60% gold, but I think what we're gonna do on this picky run is we're just gonna pick up. We're gonna pick up whatever has the A and S tier materials, and when we get to the refinery, we're simply only going to refine A and S tier materials. You can taste the sunshine with every sip. You know what? There's some truth to that. There's definitely some truth to that. Like all words. We're gonna do a couple of picky runs.
Mining mode on.
Gotta get the raccoon hands going. It's been raining for like a week up here, out in Alaska, and when you don't get sun for a week in the Arctic Circle, even if it is August, it gets a little cold. We're dropping in temperature pretty quick. You can feel the winter coming. I'll be out here, haven't even touched grass once this summer. I don't know if that's a bragging thing or if that's a cry for help, but we're out here.
Mining mode on. Mining mode off.
So there was a 5160 that I want to make sure we aim ourselves at. $5,700. I'll take the 5,700. Mushroom foraging is great. Coming from, so my original home was the Pacific Northwest, and so like it's in the western half of Washington, there's a lot of rainforest, and I knew all of the seasons by heart for foraging. Because like first frost comes by and you get a whole new species of mushrooms, multiple species of mushrooms that you can go out and forage for. First frost was like you wanted to get out right before and right after that. You'd have like everything. Everything. Found like some really nice morels, whatever you want to call it. Found some morels out in the woods growing on a log.
Need to meet you in Bongo.
But it's a good time out there. Yeah, rainforest foraging is where it is at.
Mining mode on.
Okay, we are approaching. Exolite? Nice. Hell yeah. We're finding some good stuff. Barrel, man. Gold and copper. Gold is going to be worth a little bit more than Bexlite, so we will go ahead and start on this little guy right here. We're just going to angle ourselves at that big one so that we don't forget about it.
Mining mode.
Dirt sponge, you're just not making your morals right. You got bad morals. You gotta, so what you do, right, is you take, with really any mushroom this works, if you want it to just absorb the flavor of whatever you're doing, you get an oil bath, and then you add the spices that you want it to taste like. You let the spices, like, you can emulsify it into the oil, and then, an oil bath, yes. Because mushrooms are a surprising amount of water. You want the oil to be soaked up by it and force a lot of the water out. So when you do an oil bath with the spices, like olive oil, avocado oil, maybe one with more fats in it, what it's going to do is it's going to force the water out of the morel, because it's going to, all the water is going to want to escape anyways. It's normally what happens with any sort of plant. And the oil with all of the spices will seep in, and it'll be really fatty and taste like everything that you put into the oil.
Fracturing mode on.
But you want to emulsify the oil and let that sit for some time before you actually let the marinade begin.
Mining mode on.
Yeah. Oil and water don't mix. Water wants to escape the dying thing. Oil wants to get soaked up by anything. Science or something. Pickling mushrooms? Yeah, I mean, pickling mushrooms works. You can also, I mean, if you know about pickling, you know about adding spices to the pickling process in order to get more of the flavor that you're looking for. So it's kind of the same concept. With the oil, that is.
Fracturing mode on. Mining mode on.
What's going on? Why don't I have...
Extraction mode on.
What the heck? Okay, so we can just pick this up, I guess. Don't realize that. Now you're like, why can't I mine it? Well, it doesn't need mined, it just needs scooped. It's that 3K rock that just needs scooped. That's kind of ridiculous. Foraging is always a good skill to have. See, I struggle with foraging berries, because rainforests, for every berry you can eat, there's two that look identical to it that are poisonous, and I have made way too many mistakes and gotten sick way too many times.
Mining mode
God.
Mode on.
Yeah, well, if your mom's so good at foraging berries, stick her in a rainforest, see how she does. Respectfully. I just, Okay, that one's impossible from here in this one. Oh, you got a mushroom hunt tomorrow? I don't know your fancy science words for all these things. I grew up in the woods. I just know very good, very bad. I don't know this, what is it called? What do you call it? Adirondacks? Oh, ain't even a fancy science word, it's just a place.
Mining mode on.
I get a good position here. This is gonna be a tough rock. It's 16k mass. Even our strong laser, because it's Bexlite, what they do is they actually incorporate some hardness, like rock hardness, like the Mohs hardness that we keep talking about. They incorporate some of that into breaking down rocks. Bexlite is going to be a harder rock than a lot of what we've been messing with, and so it's going to be a little bit more difficult unless we're a little bit closer in.
Fracturing mode on. Mining mode on. Warning, power critical. Warning, power critical. Warning, power critical. Warning, power critical. Attack on shields.
Stupid fucking rock.
Mining mode on.
It's not specifically the Mohs scale that's been incorporated into the game, because there are some fictional rocks as well. But it is there is like a pseudo Mohs scale in place. It's not like there's not a chart that you can look at that I'm aware of that tells you how hard each rock is, but you can tell when you come up to like a lot of like Quantanium rocks are gonna be unstable because it is an unstable material. Right, so your laser might not do a lot to it at first, and then it might shoot straight up in power, things like this. Yeah, you could hypothetically be a space geologist. There's nothing really to discover as far as new rocks, but everybody needs a good mining person in their organization who knows what they're looking for, has the advice, knows kind of where to go and what to do. Like, for example, one of my favorite places to go rock mining is actually out on Microtech, the planet. The thing is the only time it's worthwhile to go mining on Microtech is when you have a crew of 4, because a lot of the rocks out there can be 80k mass, which you're just not doing alone. It's just not going to happen. You're going to come across a lot of really hefty rocks that are really hard to break on your own.
Fracturing mode on.
So we got Bexlite up in here. So it can be pretty good. We have myself in the org OIO. It's listed down below, where you can see the spectrum page. as well as their Robert Space Industries page, where their organization is set up. Our organization is set up, I should say. I'm not an owner, so I say theirs, but I do recruit for them. But a lot of the people in this organization do mining. We love to mine. There are several people, including myself, that are acutely aware of different mining loops, but we all have... You'll find... If you join their organization, you'll find us chilling in there regularly, debating about best processes and things of that nature. Like, I would only pick up, like this, for example, for the stream, what we've been doing is we've been setting up days where we go out on pick up anything runs and kind of mid runs, and this is a picky run where we're only going to be putting stuff in that's picky. We've been kind of timing ourselves to some extent, trying to make sure that we know how long it takes to actually make how much money. And this is a really good way for us to actually look at the debates that I tend to have with the people within our mining crew. And there are some people that will only refine A and S tier materials. I myself find myself on the opposite spectrum, where I believe, through trials like this many times that I've had before starting streaming, that it is more worth your time to simply pick up everything. So, yeah, mining parties. We have mining parties. Anybody's welcome. We don't even... Oh. Went to that rock a little bit. You don't even need a mining ship. If you like to mine and you have the game, somebody with a mining ship will take you on 100%. There is a mining ship called the Prospector. Ooh. The Atomic Heart Challenge, it cometh. I'm not ready for that. Gonna have to actually get good at a single player game. What? Okay, we should be able to pick up most of the Bexlite at this point. I think then we'll be rather full. One of the things about the picky run is if you... So, like, we're over half full right now. If we pick up pretty much all of the Bexlite here, we will not have a lot of space left, if any at all. If we do, and it's less than, like, one of those markers, it's not going to be really worth it for us to go around looking for another rock, because we'll break it down and then fill up on just the tiniest bit of SCU. 80% Bexlite. I have heard stories of the robot lady, and I was not anticipating that being why people would donate to that, but you know what? Here we are. Here we are. Robots are cool. I remember back near a decade ago now, me and a friend, we both had pretty morbid humor, and I remember telling him, I said, if prosthetics get to the point where everything is like really good, I can actually have a cyborg arm. You chop my right arm and my left leg off outside the hospital. I won't press charges, and I get myself one of them robot digits. 2 of them robot digits, actually. And his mom overheard and knew that we were stupid enough to do it. And so she was a notary. So she wrote us up a legally binding contract. And so now, if prosthetics ever get that good, I will sacrifice my arm and leg to my homie so that I can get me some of them. Yeah, no, she is kind of a badass. She was like, you idiots will actually chop off his limbs.
Power critical.
Oh, God.
Warning. Power critical. Warning. Power critical.
And was like, I don't need my son to go to prison for mutilation, so we'll
Attack on shields.
it's up it. Fuck. They really are. I mean,
Mining mode on.
props to her, but also now I can't get out of it. I told him he could have my leg. So, hopefully, prosthetics get... I can always make the argument that they're just not good enough yet. But technically, legally speaking, I may owe a friend a leg. That's the thing, though. I have a history with longboarding, and so I like both of them for different reasons.
On.
Probably end up... It's probably gonna... in writing, it's already the left leg, so I don't really get to pick. And being right-handed, I don't know why I chose the right arm, but here we are. I don't think prosthetics will get to a point that either of us are like, let's do it. We also haven't talked in a very long time. Good dude, good dude. Ain't no reason, really. We just kind of grew apart, as it happens with friends.
Mining mode on.
It's one of those things. Time is cruel. I have a strong preference for asymmetrical things. So just right arm, left leg, and just came to mind. That's all. Don't think about it too hard. Also, all my tattoos are on the left. Can't just give up the tattoos.
Fracturing mode on. Mining mode on.
Forgot style crab feats is crazy. No way. Alright, so looks like we'll get 14 SCU gold, 25 Exolite. Not the worst run, not really a good run for being super picky. 'Cause 15 and 25 is 40, so we're at just under half of our capacity for A tier. Some people will be even pickier than me on these picky runs. This is as picky as I'm willing to get. Some people will be like, if it's not 80% plus of the A and or S tier material, I don't want it. And I'm like, just don't throw it in the refrigerator.
Mining mode on. Mining mode off.
Do we have another League player? Have we collected yet another League player? Star, do you play League? Or L2?
Quantum travel engaged.
Understandable. They put so much bloatware on that thing now with Vanguard. It's crazy. Game won't even let me uninstall it every time I try to uninstall Vanguard. Oh my god! Every time I try to uninstall Vanguard, League soft launches in the background. And it's like, you can't uninstall this while an application of ours is running on your computer. So I'm just stuck playing League. So you also sniff instance. Yo, what? What? Got sock snippers. That's what I'm saying. Yo, Pally, pause. Gotta leave my man Draven out of this. Got a little bit of beef jerky. What's your favorite thing about Draven in lore? Oh yeah. Favorite games is better than League lore.
Quantum travel complete.
Goddamn. I was not prepared for that. What is the temperature out there?
Quantum travel.
Oh, no wonder I'm cold. It's only 12 degrees out Celsius. I may be American, but
Quantum travel complete.
I tend to stream during hours that don't shine brightly upon the Imperial system. So, °C. Can I do conversion in my head? No. No. I used to, but so it's 50 degrees outside, but my room, I have a cellar below me. And because of snow runoff and stuff, basically the way that it works is there ventilation for aeration so that there's not mold as the snow melts for a few months. Sometimes like 6 months. So the floor is chilled pretty much year round, and the sun don't hit my part of the house like at all. Especially now that the sun's not up for 24 hours anymore.
Please proceed
So
to sign landing
it's
bay.
just real cold in here. I think it's probably closer to maybe 10°C, probably like 40 degrees. Something like that, that ballpark. How can I live like what? What do you mean? What? Yeah, y'all be saying lucky now during the summer, but dead winter, it'll be like -20 for almost a month. And in here, in this room, it actually feels like you're dying. Like there's no amount of heat. No amount of heat.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
Engines off.
Oh. Oh, yeah. In an 80-degree room ain't it, fam. I've been there, though. I've lived out of, like, Arizona for a while. And when your AC goes out in July, ooh-wee. I remember living down in Arizona, the serpentine belt went out on the car. Now, for those of you that don't know, the serpentine belt, it controls your air conditioning, your power steering, all that. If it goes out, you lose power steering, you lose AC, you lose a whole bunch of stuff. It was 115 degrees, and power steering just goes out, and the inside of the car, there was a little measure
ASOP vehicle retrieval
that
system.
went over how hot it was outside and how hot it was inside the car, which was kind of like necessary for, you know, living in the frickin' desert. And it went from inside the car from 80 degrees, which was nice and air conditioned, to 130 in like a minute, maybe 2 minutes. No power steering, just sweating balls, trying your best to not die on the freeway. Nah. After living in desert, tundra, rainforest, mountain, like fucking plains, like I've lived in every possible environment that a human being can live in. And because the US, we offer that, you can just choose what environment you want to live in. I gotta say, rainforest and tundra are my two favorites. Plains are just too boring, they're too plain. Like literally. I would definitely say that rainforest and tundra are the best in my opinion. You can always get hotter. You can always get drier. You might not have the ability to get more wet, and you might not have the ability to get more cold though. You can only take off so many clothes, you can only take off so many layers of skin before the sun just kills you, and you can always just dry off, but if you don't have water, you're dead. Yeah, plains have tornadoes. I do not mess with that. All right. It pains me not to put everything in there. And it's 64 hours anyways. Okay, what we'll do, what we're going to do, we're gonna go on these picky runs. I can't bring myself to not get paid for the stuff that I already mined. It's just not happening, okay? I'm sorry. I have a ton of quartz here. Quartz is like, that's 30 SCU, about probably closer to 28. even at 500, that's 14,000. I'm sorry. I'm gonna put it in there. I'm gonna get paid, especially since that will cover this cost. Barrel. Okay. But we know now that that's gonna be and what we're looking at. Yeah. So for 1,000 more and 10 more hours, big whoop, you pay for the cost of my, like, refining the Bexolite and the gold. I'm sorry, I don't understand not putting it into the refinery. Ooh. Mountains and rocks. Let's see here. So confirm. So we've got an 80-hour work order in. And then it's time to head on back out there. We will try to be as picky as possible. I'm not gonna just get rid of perfectly fine minerals that we've mined. It's just not worth your time. What's the point? What is the point? Mountains and woods. Mountains and woods are nice. Mountainous regions, the reason I don't really like mountainous regions living in them is because, like, everywhere has its unique threats, but being not on the top of the totem pole of animals that can kill you.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
I'm sorry, if you live in a mountainous town and you got, like, mountain lions that are just right on the outskirts, I don't mess with that. Okay, coyotes? I've dealt with coyotes, I've dealt with mountain lions, I've dealt with bears. Bears mostly want to be left alone. Coyotes will mess with you, but you can fight off a coyote. Mountain lion, I'm a dead man.
Please visit us again.
I'm a dead man. I'm not... No.
Welcome
And
to the ASOP Vehicle
bottom
Retrieval
line,
System.
if you're in a rainforest, the crazy people that live out in the rainforest are all voodoo and magic and fun times, and they're like, I know exactly where to find what you're looking for, friend. And it's not like a terrible thing, okay? Crazy person in the mountains will eat you. Nah. Nah. Nah, fam. I've met all sorts of crazy people in every one of these regions, and I'm telling you right now, I do not mess with the mountain people. I don't. Nah. Mountain people are... Have you met them? I've met them. No. Girl, no. Ooh. That ain't it. That ain't it. There's a look in their eyes that, like, predates the Praetorian era, and it's just like, no. No, I'm like, I don't know who you met out there, crazy fella, but you're gonna sacrifice me to something. I'm not messing with that. No way, no how, no sir. Not happening. Squanch. They know the squanch. They know the squanch. I'm just saying. That voodoo ain't for me, fam. No. No, 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 no. What, Sasquatch? I mean... having a small background in sciences, I'm very evidence-based as a person, but really liking mythical things and just generally being able to enjoy myself and enjoy the world, there's a small part of me that wants to be like, you know what? Why not? Why not? I want to know how many people just saw a mountain man that was just like, just huge, right? Like, how many of them just were like, couldn't be real. Couldn't be real. Like,
Landing gear up.
some spirits? That's interesting. Can't say that I've met spirits before. But I also keep myself pretty closed off from a lot of the voodoo stuff. For a number of reasons.
Thank you, and please visit again.
Namely to protect one's psyche. Whatever you might wanna, however you wanna read that. We guessed it right, that little dot was microtech.
Quantum travel.
I believe it was 24 GM. I don't know. See, Western Washington has an insane amount of just old, haunted, broken down, abandoned homes and factories and stuff like that all over it. And a lot of my friends growing up were very voodoo, spooky type people. And they'd be like, oh, this is haunted, this is scary. And I'd be like, okay, well, let's go in there and check out what's so haunted and spooky about it. Never seen a ghost, but I've seen some spooky stuff up in there. I'll mess with it. I'll poke with it. Things only give power. You won't like things only have as much power as you give them, right? Whether that's video games, politics, voodoo, spirits, religion, friends, family, strangers, enemies, authority. So, oh, ads will take a second. I'm gonna try and take a note out of a few people that I quite admire in the content community. And whenever there's ads, I'm just gonna kind of pause the conversation for myself. Anybody's welcome to keep talking, but I think that it's unfair to people that get ads. I mean, I need them to stay up, but I don't want to take away from people. Yeah, I'm happy to keep talking, but conversation about the general subject will remain right where it's at. Welcome back. Okay, you're back. Yeah. The cat returns. I need to see if there's a way.
Quantum travel complete.
Can I see when those ads start? Looks like we got one in 33 minutes. And yeah, but basically, welcome back. Yeah, I mean, the ads aren't really that big of a deal, but to respect people that still have them, whether they're here all the time or just coming in, we will be taking breaks from the conversation when ads start to roll. Just to not leave anybody out. I think it's a good practice. It's a practice that I admire from a few content creators that I quite enjoy. And I'm going to be borrowing that. Yeah, I don't want to leave anybody out. I feel like it's just not fair. Maybe somebody doesn't have the means, but they want to show support by being, and that's, you know, whoever, like, if that ever is the case, I don't want to make those people feel like they're less than for not subscribing, because that's just not the energy that I want to bring to the table. That goes for anybody and everybody. Yeah, exactly. And when I'm playing a game like this, it's pretty easy to do so. It's a little bit more difficult with games like League, so that's part of why I'm kind of stepping away from it, because it stops me from being able to be as inclusive as I'd like to be. I thought it was 24 GM. Am I tripping? Hold up. I need my chart. My chart. No, 24 is way too close, so I need to go back. God damn it. God damn it. Let's say it was over here. Damn, wrong star cluster. Planet cluster. Star cluster would be that big bright motherfucker right there.
Quantum travel engaged.
But yeah, I mean, whether it's voodoo, politics, friends, whatever, things only have as much power as you give them. I feel like the Harry Potter franchise did a really good job of telling that to us. And so, just don't give power to things that you don't want to. And it can't hurt you. You can go into the spookiest of places, and as long as you don't let the voodoo into your head or whatever it may be, you know, you don't have to. Nobody's making anybody believe in things, right? The second that begins is the second that you stop seeing the things that you want to see in the world. 7480, baby. Let's go. Hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, you just gotta tell it ain't real. I mean, whether you believe it's real or not, right? Like, I'm not trying to tell anybody what to believe, but as soon as you're like, get out of here, you got no power, you have no power, that type of shit. I mean, Lord of the Rings hit the nail on the head. Nail on the head. Hell on the hail? I can't. But just pull you have no power here. It can't do shit. Can't do shit. Vampires had to be invited into the home. Know what I'm saying? One of them things. You gotta take power from things that would otherwise take power from you. 7480, what do we got? How do we have a major torque imbalance already?
Mining mode on.
Yeah, exactly, take the power back. Not one to believe in something as black and white as good and evil forces, but there's things in this world that mess with you. Some people are going to tell you it's not real, some people are going to tell you it is. At the end of the day, if you're being affected by something, it's real to you, right? It's a belief system that I think is extremely important. It's one that I hold close. I remember somebody asking me a long time ago, they were like, what do you believe in? I was like, well, what do you believe in? They answered, you know, their religion, what have you, and I was like, well, that's real to you, and that means that it has an effect on how you interact with the world and what you want to do inside of that world and everything. So, by proxy, it has an effect on me, and it has to be real. And that's just, I mean, some people might call that a cop-out. It's definitely been called a cop-out to me before. But that's not the intent, right? Like, take a really big example, like any church, right? Millions of people believe in a lot of these larger churches.
Mining mode off.
And because there's millions of people that believe in a lot of these larger churches, we're having conversations right now in many different countries on a very legal and very real scale that directly impact how people are going to live their life, what they're allowed to do with their bodies, things like that. Does that mean that if I say, oh, well, that God or that belief system isn't real, that it takes away any power from it? No. What it means is that people who believe that that is real are directly impacting millions of people. You can't say that something, you can't just say that something's not real. You have to acknowledge that it's real to somebody else. Real is a very odd term, I feel. That's pretty cool, actually. That is quite cool. Let's see here. Being able to speak in tongues is definitely a lost art. It's not art. It's not art, forehead. Take a second here. What do we got? We got some gold and an 18K. Every individual exists in their own reality, populated by all of the knowledge they possess. Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about that Buddhist, but what I'll tell you right now is I vibe with it. I probably believe a lot of what he believes, because that's a core belief that I came to believe on my own. Now, whether or not that's a tantamount belief system that's been around well before me, probably. I mean, a lot of people would argue that there's no original thoughts. I don't know if I agree with that sentiment. However, what I will say is that, you find things in history that you wouldn't otherwise find, and I think I vibe with what that dude was saying. Which kind of makes sense. Be a little focused here for a minute. Come on. Positive original thoughts and stream. And I mean, you find a whole bunch of different beliefs too. You'll also find that beliefs tend to follow you pass somebody's time with you, whether they moved on or moved away. Like, for example, my grandmother would, she would go collect bones from burial mounds. I'm just gonna let that one sit for a minute. And she put them in a chest that she then cursed to our family's name. Now, whether you believe in curses, okay? The only people that she said were allowed to open the chest were her direct bloodline. And I always thought it was like kinda, you know, I was definitely a little on the not sure end of it.
Systems
And I
activated.
remember there was a time when I was younger, my stepfather decided to put it to the test, was like, haha, voodoo, hoodoo, this is a bunch of shenanigans, it's not real. Opened the chest, somebody broke into the house, stole only his clothes, stole his car, the other cars were fine, the other cars were in fact unlocked, his was locked, they destroyed his shit, and all of ours was perfectly fine. Now, how these people could identify, I don't think that that's possible in a household with 6 people in it. Okay. All of it, we weren't clean people. It's not like it was all organized and labeled. Okay. It's not like the living room was like divided evenly with people's names on their part of the couch, but like, yeah, parts like. So when people are like, none of it can be real, I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like, you know, maybe, maybe not. Say what you will. I have my experiences, some even crazier than that, where I'm like, maybe. 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 But, like, I'm not gonna force it down anybody's throat because I also know exactly how it sounds. Alright. It's always nice to be heard for those things, but also it's just as important to understand when you're saying something that people are going to be like, come on. That's why I don't really care whether or not people believe me when I share those stories, because I'm like, what happened. That's my experience. Yeah. We do mining streams all the time up in here. I'm a little bummed that we started a little late today, but we might even go a little late today. Not sure. We'll have to see how it goes. And correct. Goose vibes. We have the waddling goose too. I'm really surprised you don't use the waddling goose more. I really thought that that would be the one. Was it a mistake though? I feel like it was just a good time. Sometimes after stream we'll pop into the Discord and we'll all do some games together. Everybody's invited. Everybody. It's a good time. At least I think it is. go. Get some decent breaks here. Yeah, so anybody that's interested in checking out the server, there's down directly below the stream, there's a little button on the right of the About Me. It says Discord. Should bring you right in. Let me know if there's any issues with it, because we do have a rotating that may or may not work, depending. Just let me know, and we'll give it a shot. Well, if it doesn't work, we'll fix it. Been trying out this automatically rotating link, and we've had a few issues with it. Had to get that in place because some people from the League community thought it would be funny to come in and torque our tiny little community with a ton of really inappropriate spam and links a number of times, as well as just being really toxic people in general. I'm not one to believe in quote-unquote safe spaces, but I do believe in mutual respect and understanding what kind of community that you're in. I think there's a pretty big difference between the two. Just not being an absolutely disgusting piece of shit human being is really all I ask. I think most people can hit that pretty low bar. After finding out that that is difficult for some people on the internet, we have been kind of changing a few things. Yeah, and that is why you help me moderate. Because I can tell that you are being genuine about that, and I appreciate it.
Mining mode on.
There have been one or two people that I just kind of jumped the gun on. Said, nah. If your username incites violence, maybe don't make usernames like that. We're I appreciate that you are a garbage can. What do you mean by that?
Mining mode on.
What do you mean by that? Should be able to scoop up pretty much everything that's here. We are gonna try and get hopefully just the better gold breaks, if there are any. I mean, Trash Panda vibes all day. I understand that people make jokes. Jokes are not genuine hate, right? There's a difference. That's why I like kind of differentiated between not really believing in quote-unquote safe spaces, but also just kind of understanding that, like, if you can't maintain mutual respect and understand just basic human decency, it is a space where that is somewhat required. Were you able to get in? Cat lover? Did that link work for you? Nope, okay. What about the one below the stream? Did that one work for you?
Mining mode on.
Let's go ahead and fix it.
Bin
That it,
hungrig.
yep, it did in fact expire. Okay. Copy.
X deletios palisalci.
There we go. And then part of the reason why we do a rotating invite link that I need to update, I really thought that I updated it in time before the stream, but I must have forgotten. But one of the reasons why we do a rotating one is so that if people decide to be wild and disgusting in the community, we can very easily
Haarerfressing. Tanks palisalci.
track down who in fact created that link, or not created, because nobody can create a link, they can only use the one. So it's just another precaution after getting bombarded. Just makes things a little bit easier. So we are going to go over here and then do. Just taking us a quick second.
X deletios starke Dukatlova.
Okay, so the bot has been updated. And then so has the little space underneath the stream. There we go. There's also a little feature that we added in the last couple of days called Question of the Day. You can put in Q, like exclamation QATD, and the bot will ask you the question of the day. I am actually going to go ahead and run to the restroom really quick. I will be right back.
Willkommen, Sphaerocarpos.
All right. Jump for joy for our Dr. Thunder. I'm gonna push that sucker up. Okay. For those of you wondering why I don't typically use the ladder, you can fall through your ship, and it's really annoying.
Fracturing mode on. Mining mode on.
Why is my face stuck like this? Oh, it's not the side.
Extraction mode on.
We're looking for mainly gold. Took a long time to get this rock going. What do you mean, not your main account? Is that like... Forgot we really gotta scan these. We have a lot of aluminum already. The amount of inert material is insane. I don't want to deal with it. Scooch in. Okay. That's impressive. To accidentally make a new account is a new one for me. It really is. It's the most satisfying. I'll take this one. I'll take it. The most satisfying part about the mining runs for me is being able to go drop it off and make like 99% profit. It's insane. The profit margins on mining are crazy. What you have to get around when it comes to the mining is not having instant gratification. So like when you're running trade, the scariest part is the buy, right? You go, you spend $1 million on what you're gonna run, and now you're $1 million out, and you're gonna have 1.2 million when it's done. Now you're flying to another place with $1 million in cargo, being like, oh god, am I gonna get pirated? Am I gonna crash? Is the server gonna kind of like hiccup? Am I gonna... What's gonna happen? Being able to, like, it's so much risk. It is so much risk incurred. In this game, you can be like, I got 20k, and I'm gonna go mining, and when I run out of 20k, I'm gonna go do a bounty for another 10k, and then I can do either one mining run, or I can go grab another 10k and do 2 mining runs. Like, or you can just save up and rent a prospector in game, and then from there you're able to very, very easily just sell the ore. Like, we can go and take a look at the ore sales as well. I'm not going to use it because it doesn't make us as much money, and we're sitting on a pretty little nest egg, so I don't really care to simply dump it, if you will. But we can look at it, and I'll show you how much we could make off of just selling the ore. If it has gold, I'll slurp it. You got gold? No, you don't got gold. You got gold? How ain't we seen you yet? Nice. What could it be? What could be shooting the laser out of its mouth? Could do a spinning Vel'Koz. Shooting at a rock. We just got a little Vel'Koz on the front of this thing. I don't know how we would do that, but we could definitely talk about that. That sounds great. That sounds absolutely amazing. I feel like the Star Citizen community would love it because it'd be like, oh, mining, but what is this creature? I like the creature, but what is it? And the League of Legends community would be like, haha, Vel'Koz go burr. Exactly. So we got an 1850. Let's go to the 1870. Why not? We out here. While we're floating there, let's take a look at some other options. Ooh, 5160. That's what we were looking for before. Oh, I forgot. Maybe this is going to be really good, and we already filled up on trash. I was supposed to be picky. We are only looking for really good materials. We'll call that picky enough. We already did the picky run. Oh yeah. Or was the 5160 the one with all the iron? We already go here? I don't think so.
Mining mode on.
$20K aluminum, barrel. Raylan. Oh, what I wouldn't give for the Raylan. I always pick up barrel. We already kind of borked it by not giving ourselves an opportunity. This is a good pick. It's not exactly what we're looking for being picky, but we also don't have a lot of space. So I'm going to go ahead and make the judgment call and say that this is worth more of our time than going around hunting. Because it still does come down to a how many orders can we get into the refinery kind of argument. The ability to get them in is going to outweigh the ability of finding something else here, because barrel's good and we have gold. So I feel like this is the judgment call so we can get this gold and load up on a little barrel.
Fracturing mode on.
Ooh.
Mining mode on.
We're gonna hop on over to the left one.
Mining mode on.
This parking job, amazing. I almost want to say some cheesy shit, like the first 3 people to use my invite link will be part of the first crew on the Arastra. Because I think even 4, actually, because the Arastra is going to have a refinery on it, and so we won't actually have to go back to a refinery in order to turn these stones into something that you can sell. Yeah. You know what? The Arastra might not come in for like a year.
Mining mode on.
That's part of the reason why I'm a little iffy on that. Could be a very long time before we see the Arastra. It's just not a good spot. Another thing a lot of people don't realize is you can actually get slightly different reactions depending on where on the rock you're actually hitting. But yeah, you know what? I think I will embrace the cheese. It's time to embrace some cheese. Down below on Twitch, you can see that there is an invite link. Not an invite link. There is a Star Citizen link with my invite code. And what this does is if you are just joining Star Citizen and you use that code, it'll get you an extra 5,000 UEC, which is in-game currency, to get your adventure started. And it also gets me 5,000 AUEC. Same thing, the A whatever. Don't care about that. What I care about is if you want to go ahead and join on in, we will help walk you through what ships are good for what. We'll make sure that you're getting a ship that's good for you, and we'll also go over chassis chain upgrade systems and why you might want to get certain ships. That way you make an informed decision, you understand why you're getting what you're getting, and you know exactly what that ship is capable of in game. I can even take it out, whatever it is, fly it around, and show you kind of what you'll have when you get into game. And then the first 4 people to join on that link will get to fly around with me in my Arastra on stream whenever they like. Whenever we're doing these mining runs in an Arastra, you'd be more than welcome to come on board. It's what I have to offer right now, but I think it's a good offer. I think it's a pretty sweet offer. Is the game free? No, the game is not free, unfortunately. The game is, in fact, quite expensive. No, I'm just kidding. There's a thing that I say pretty commonly on stream is you can play the game for $30 and you can play it for $3,000. The only difference is access, right? So if you're playing the game with a $30 ship, you're going to have a little bit of a harder time getting into it because the amount of money that you can make with a $30 ship is a little bit lower than something that's like 100, 115, what have you, but it's not really about that, right? Like, somebody who spends a ton of money on the game doesn't actually get more out of the game than somebody who spends less. It's not going to bar you from that experience just because you weren't able to get the craziest possible ship available, right? What happens is when you get a $30 ship, you have an entry-level ship that's good for entry-level missions, and you save up your pennies and you get yourself a rental in-game of a crazy ship that can make you a lot of money. And that's like the shortcut grind. Or I have a lot of friends that play this game in an Aurora, and they've only had an Aurora for years and years and years and years, and all they do is they fly around in their Aurora, they do the little missions, and then they come back and they go, like, sometimes there's patch wipes where everything you own in-game gets taken completely out of the game other than what you spent real money on. And sometimes when this happens, me and a few of our friends will go, hey, I know that all you have right now is this little ship. Come around, fly with me, you can crew in mine, let's go get you some money, let's get you something nice. So it's really just access to the game. A lot of people are like, it's a scam, Star Citizen's a scam. No, you're just bad at managing your money. You're just bad at managing your money. If you like the idea of the game and you want to play it, but you think that it's a scam, don't spend too much money on it. You are the decider of your own fate on that one, Captain. Yeah, the mole is the chunky one that I use, yeah. That's what this is right here. Money management system, yeah, Citizen. Is it annoying that there are ships in game? Like, there's one, the Eclipse, okay? I love and adore the Eclipse. It is a stealth bomber with size 9 missiles. Takes out anything in one shot, but it's made like a paperweight. Sneeze on it, it's fucking dead. That's it. That's the whole bit. Okay? You go in, you do one pass, you blow up a capital ship in one go, you're a stealth bomber, you're in, you're out, you're safe, you're good. Super cool. But that's all it does. It's a one-trick pony. That's all it does. The ship is $300. Just get it in game. Like, I'm sorry. I love the idea and the concept. The design of the ship is amazing. I'll show y'all when we get back to station. I think I still have one. Just get it in game. It's a couple million credits in game, just like any other ship. Just get it in game. It is a one-trick pony. You do not need to spend $200 on a one-trick pony. Yeah. Again, it's only a couple million in game. It's only a couple million in game. That's the thing. Like, I don't even own a mole, okay? And I didn't buy this mole in game. What I did is I said, I really, really, really like mining, and I want a good mining ship, and I want to be future-proofed for mining. So what did I do? I got an Arastra. And Arastra is a ship that's not currently in game. Hold on. Like,
Warning. Power critical.
so an Arastra is a ship that's not currently in the game. Don't look up the price of your Arastra. And what I get for that is both a Prospector and a Mole. I get both of them as loaners. So when you get a ship that's not released yet, what you'll end up getting are ships that are supposed to be capable of doing that ship's job as the game currently stands. So right now there is no Arastra, but with a Mole and a Prospector, you could likely break up a rock that the Arastra would need to break up. There's no ship that currently has a refinery on it, so there's no substitute for that yet. Now, there is a smaller ship called the Expanse. Its literal only job is to fly around with a Prospector and or a Mole and be the refinery for it. So it just floats up with its little saddlebags and it's like, let's trade bags! And it gives the Mole or the Prospector some empty bags. It takes the full ones and it starts refining them. That's all it does. That's its entire job. It's cute. The Expanse is a really cute ship. But it's so specific, and with it being, I think, like near $100, maybe more. Maybe, Pally, you could look up the price of that one if you're still interested in looking around it then. But it, very much like the Eclipse, it is a ship that is hyper-focused on one thing and just too expensive because of that. It just is. The best starting rig for mining, in my opinion, as somebody who does a lot of solo mining, and mind you, even if you're not solo mining, it is difficult to find a crew to mine with on a consistent basis. So if you have a Mole, it might not be worth running because solo mining is really tedious and annoying. And you end up coming across rocks very frequently that you're like, if only I had one more person, if only I had one more, I could do this. This is 90% of the rocks you're gonna find. If only I had one more.
Warning. Power critical.
With that in mind,
Eat Delicio's Palisade Sea.
it's one of those things where it's like,
Eat
should you
Delicio's
get a
Starkete
Mole or
Kadnova.
should you get a Prospector? Prospector, you get Prospector, when you get one of those, it has half the available storage of a Mole, only one seat and one mining head, but the mining head seat is the pilot seat. You don't have to get up and walk around and swap seats and stuff like that. It's really convenient. And the only problem with the Prospector is this deep space mining exploration stuff that we're doing right now. Super unnecessary. You're not really going to find a lot that's worth picking up in the Prospector. You likely won't even need
to break apart a lot of the rocks because of the size of them. Anything that you can pick up in the prospector out here in the Aaron belt is going to be pretty much just scoopable. You kind of just come out here and scoop C to B tier materials and then go back. Now, where the prospector shines is every time we open up that mini map to go back to the station, you see all of those like mining claims, those different spots outside of the space station that are just asteroid fields. That's what the prospector is good at. You're able to just go out of the space stations, mine up, and head on back in. It's quite comfortable. People have been doing this for many patches before I even started. It is a very comfortable loop. You're guaranteed money. It's an affordable ship by comparison to something like the Mole at nearly 1/3 the cost. And if you're getting into the game during one of the big sale events like IAE, Invictus Launch Week, Alien Week, they have, I think, at least one event every quarter. So every 3 months, you should be able to get into the game where there are sales. That's when I recommend getting it, because you can get your starter package on sale, and then you can basically pay roughly the value of the ship with a little bit more. Because information overload, right? Like, I'm skipping a lot of steps. Let's go back. To get into the game, you have to get a starting package. It's effectively a ship with the rights to play the game. The rights to play the game are effectively $15. The ship is normally $30. Okay? It's going to be about $45 to get into the game. That's just the way that it is. A lot of people go, that's a rip-off already. Why would I pay $40 for a game in alpha? I'm sorry, why would you pay $70 for Dragon Age Inquisition? Why would you pay $60 for, I don't know, COD? Why are people probably going to pay $90+ for, what is it, Grand Theft Auto 6 or 5 or whatever? It's one of those things where it's like, it's a $45 game. At the end of the day, it is a $45 game. It's not crazy. If you don't like it, it's a $45 game. That's 3 skins in League. 3 skins in League, it's half the price of most modern AAA games at this point. You don't actually need to spend a ton of money. Now, after you do that, the ship's literal value inside of their store where you're able to do upgrades is effectively a discount on the next ship that you want to get. So you spent $45, you have a $30 ship, and you're like, man, I really want to get, I don't know, let's say the Prospector. Prospector's about $150, but because you already have a $30 ship, it'll be $120. Now let's say you get in during one of these sale events. You'll be able to get that $30 starting ship, likely with a fancy paint, okay? And it'll probably be, instead of $45, $38. So now you spent $38 on a $30 ship. The rights to play the game were effectively $8, and then you get a ship to fly for near the actual value. And then you'll be like, I want the Prospector. Oh, there's a sale event. That's why I got my starting package so cheap. Well, with that, you're able to go, okay, the Prospector is actually $10 off right now. So then you're able to get it for, I don't know, $110, right? And you can add these upgrades together. So if you find a ship that's on sale between your starting ship and the Prospector, so you have, I don't know, ship A, B, and Prospector. A is your starting ship, you got it on a discount, great. $30, great. Then you have ship B, and you get $5 off there, and now you have ship B. And then you get the Prospector with $10 off. You just got $15 off your Prospector and like $7 off starting the game. Yeah, you can get the Prospector with in-game shekels. Anything that you can get from the store for real money, you can get in-game for in-game shekels. Except for the ships that are not currently in-game yet. Now, something like the Arastra, for example, the ship that I keep talking about, the big mining ship that's not in-game, I'm just using it as an example since we've already been talking about it. This ship not being in game, what will happen is when it is released in game, they'll do a big sale event, likely up the price of the ship when it comes to full sale. And then when it enters the game, only people who spent real money on it can get it for the first 6 months. That's what incentivizes people to get the new ships, right? I personally wanted to make sure that I always had insurance on it, because what is currently in game is something called an insurance system. When you break your ship, you blow up in space, you get pirated and they blow you up and kill you. You go and you respawn and you go, man, I really wish I still had my ship. I need to go fly that around. And you just go to a terminal and you file an insurance claim. You literally just hit a button that says claim. You see it all the time on the terminal when I pick up the mole. And when you do this, it will just give you a timer saying, the insurance will give you your ship back in 10, 20, 30, 45 minutes, whatever it may be. And maybe even 2. A lot of the starting ships are like 2 minutes. And then you can do that, or you can pay a fee to make it go faster. And you get the ship back. They have a very confusing and misleading insurance thing in the game right now. Basically, when you buy a ship, it normally comes with either 6-month or 10-year insurance, sometimes 2-year. There's different events, again, typically tied to the sale events, where they go, hey, you can get 10-year insurance on this ship. It literally doesn't matter right now. Insurance is not currently in the game. The timer on insurance is not currently in the game. However, at some point it will be. So what I do is I make sure when I'm doing these upgrade tokens, I get a ship that has 10-year or lifetime insurance, so that when they do implement it, I have 10 years guaranteed minimum that I get to keep that ship. Yeah. Insurance is like in the game, but whether you have 2-month or a lifetime, because the game's not quote-unquote released, it don't matter yet.
You are clear to launch.
So, as far as it being more or less flushed out than SC,
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
their insurance system,
Warning granted.
I can't really speak to Elite's insurance system. I want to say that it is actively in-game. Like, when you run out of insurance, if you blow up your ship, it's gone. That's my understanding. In this game, I have some ships from the day that I started over a year ago. My insurance should be out. I could go fly that thing into a building right now and I'd get it back in 20 minutes. It don't matter. Because insurance hasn't been, like, activated on the servers yet. It's not like an actual feature of the game yet. They're just advertising it for people that want to be able to play long term. So, like, I, for example, have 10 years of insurance on my on my Arastra. So when the Arastra comes into the game and insurance is finally activated, I'll have 10 years to play with the insurance on that Arastra, which is more than enough time to get prepared and get ready for whatever they do. I just want to make sure that my money doesn't get thrown out effectively.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
Launch complete. Engines off.
There are some ships that I only have 6 months insurance on, and those are like rare collectible type ships. And that is the thing that kind of irks me the most, is I didn't understand how those insurances worked when I got them, so I only have 6 months on my rarest ships. for those, I'll have to be a little bit more careful flying them around for a time. But I think what I'll end up doing is just waiting out to see what the insurance system actually looks like, and then making my decision from there as to whether or not I spend the time to grind out that insurance or just refund those rare ships. Well, it really depends. Because if I turned in all of my rare ships right now, I could get a capital class ship with 10-year insurance. And so if that ends up being the case, I'll just get a capital class ship with 10-year insurance. 'Cause that's worth more to me as a player than a fancy ship that I might only be able to fly for 6 months. I don't really like that as a general business practice, personally. Alright, we are heading back to the refinery now, and one of the things that we said we were going to do is take a look at the ore sales. So, when you get out there and you mine everything, let's say you don't have enough money to actually start a refining order, there is another terminal for you. So you don't actually have to go bounty hunting, you don't have to go do any of that stuff. You can still mine even if you don't have money for the refining order. It's a little loophole, a little fun thing. When I'm running multi-crew, this is often what I will use. Because what you can do is you go over here, and you go, oh wow, my mole is full of cargo. And then you go, what do I got? What do I got? 30% aluminum. I can sell for 101,000 right now, this very moment. Now, am I going to do that? No, because I have 19% of 107,000. We'll just call it 107,000 at 19.84. We'll call it 20 SCU of gold. That's going to be 140,000 when I go sell it at a terminal. Now, if I'm broke and I can't run the refining project, then it doesn't matter. I'm going to have to use this, right? If I'm running with multi-crew and I'm too poor to pay them all the way out, if I start a refining order, I'll say, hey guys, you can either wait a couple of days and I can pay you then. Just even split. Here's the spreadsheet. Here's what you did, you did, you did. Here's how much time we all spent in the mining ship, so you'll get X% based off of the amount of time spent and how many people are in the crew at those times. There's calculators that you can build for that. Really not too difficult. Everybody gets things fairly that way. Or you can just do even split or sale, boom, done, everything's out of the way. That's typically my preference. Now, if you're in a position where you have, here in the bottom left, you'll see that I have 24 million credits in game because some people decided to trick me and play nice and donate because I was a good sport, I guess. Again, thank you to those guys. If they come back and see this VOD, I want them to know I am grateful for it, but you never know when that's going to happen. Some people will prank you and they'll just donate a ton of money to your account in game. I think that was Sigelian. He also streams, actually, and Dragosha, who is popping around on the channel from time to time. Definitely give Sigelian a check out. But yeah. Outside of that, I will say, if you have enough to just pay your crew out what you know the projected costs are going to be, you can always do that and then set up an order and pick up your payday later. So there's a couple of different ways that you can run a mining ship and the ways that you decide to handle payment of your crew. Alright. Curious, I haven't actually looked at these for a while. I don't want low yield. 25,000 I get. It effectively cuts what we mined in half, but we get it in an hour and a half. I did not realize that.
Sit.
Low speed, high cost, high yield. Not paying 75,000. 75,000 again, high speed, high cost, moderate yield. No. $77,000 again? And it's low yield. Why would you take a low yield? Okay, fair on exchange is looking pretty good, honestly. Low speed, moderate cost, high yield. What we normally do is Dynex solvenation. It's half the price. So I'm gonna continue using Dynex solvenation. Could I pick up a whole bunch of stuff in one day if I use the Pharaon exchange? Yeah. But it's half the cost to do this. All you're doing is adding time. Just means that you come back later for the money. I don't see the point. The whole idea for me behind mining isn't necessarily to get a quick payday. It's to make the most bang for your buck. Because I come from trading. My brain is like a fish. So
Report to the manager's office if you think it's yours.
the bullet point version, right, is when you are mining with a group, you can sell here for simple sales, and you can sell here for complicated sales when you're trying to pay out crew. If you're not running the mining ship, that bit of information doesn't really matter too much to you. If you are running the mining ship, this is to instantly pay out your crew, but everybody makes a little less. This is to pay out your crew in a couple of days. But if you have the money to pay them up front, you can just do that and then use this and cash out, right? Now, as far as this all is concerned, you have a couple of different options, okay? All of these different order processes have a speed, a cost, and a yield. Some are high speed, some are low speed, some are very low speed, some are high cost, some are low cost, medium cost, and then you have high yield, low yield, medium yield, right? High, low, medium, high. Basically, I prefer to leave it in there for as long as humanly possible in order to pay the least. That way, I'm making the most. But the sacrifice there is like the order that we just put in. I will be able to pick it up for 3 days, 77 hours. Okay? Now, some people can't wait that long, but frankly, that's why we mine. If you wanted to make instant money, you'd go bounty hunting, you'd go trading, you'd go and do something that's going to make you instant money. I personally, this is just my approach, like to dump as many orders in for as long as possible and then just come back and profit. Because, you know, when you get bored of mining, you can just go to trade. If all you've been doing is mining, you go to trade, you already have a free pickup. You already paid in advance for it. And so, like, for example, I think today we've spent close to... We've had 3 work orders. So we've spent, I think the first one was about 25, then the next one was 15, this one was about 15, so about 55,000 on work orders, and that's the cheapest. That's the cheapest. Why would you pick the cheapest and the slowest? You have to wait forever. I already spent 55,000. Why would I spend more? It don't make no sense. Nobody wants to actually spend money on their refining order. In my opinion.
Has been delivered to the following location.
Again, a lot of what I say is opinion. I have 1 energy drink left. The rest is Dr. Thunder. I'm saving it for later. Should we go do a planet mining expedition? Should we go down to a desert moon and do some mining on the planet side? Do we dare? The desert moon has high winds. This will be difficult to solo mine. Let's up the ante. Go to the desert moon. Let's get hydrated. It's time to spice it up a little bit, get out of the Aaron belt, let ourselves do something a little bit fancier. So that is a loaded question. So as it stands right now at this very moment, I can reach out to global chat or my organization. Again, there is a link to the organization page on RSI and Spectrum down below on Twitch. And something that you can do is you can reach out to an organization that you're a part of, 9 times out of 10, or global chat and say, hey, I'm mining, I need an extra hand. Or you can reach out to the org, whatever. Whoever you reach out to, odds are you're going to have a better chance with the org. And when it comes to global chat, you're basically inviting people to come and potentially pirate you. You also might end up with a decent crew. There's also the highest likelihood thing is that you end up with a lot of people that want to learn how to mine. Now, I got no problem with teaching people different loops. There's actually a process in this game that you can sign up for when you play for a while that allows you to be a guide. It's the guide system. And when you sign up for the guide system, you basically tell them, these are my favorite loops. You write a short blurb about yourself, and then you can set yourself as active or inactive. I am part of this guide system. I prefer to do it off stream in order to protect the anonymity of newer players that may or may not actually want to be part of a stream, because I don't want to just disrespect anybody, and also you never know who you're gonna get and what they got going on. When you do these guiding systems, it's a lot like getting people from global chat when they're trying to do mining. A lot of these people, they don't know anything. Whether it's the guide system or global chat, they don't know what you're doing. Like, all y'all that have been coming in to visit for these mining expeditions on stream know more than the people that are going to volunteer. I promise you. I promise you. It doesn't seem that way. You're like, I've never played. How could that be true?
Thank you, and please visit again.
I swear to you. It's like that. It's crazy. It's actually really unfortunate. But with all of that being said, there are supposed to be a couple of systems coming into the game here in a period of time. A baseline knowledge of mining nuggets is... yeah. Baseline knowledge of mining nuggets is more than most people get. A lot of people get this game being like, I'm gonna be a space explorer and I'm gonna blow up ships, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay? I got into this game literally to space truck. My buddy, about a year and a half ago, was like, hey, you're always talking about, you're memeing about truck simulators and stuff, but I know that you'd probably do space trucking. And I was like, what's that? Is that a game? He was like, well, it's something you can do in Star Citizen. And he got me into it, and lo and behold, I was immediately addicted to space trucking. It's all I did for like 6 months. Like, straight up, the only thing I did for like 6 months was trade. And then I was like, there's got to be a more efficient way to trade, and then I got into mining. And one of the things about mining is that it's just a deep well of information. It's just a really deep well of information. I would say for as much knowledge as there is in League of Legends as an entire game, there's probably half as much in mining. Just mining in Star Citizen. Yeah. Yeah. But there is going to be a system implemented at some point that the developers have talked about for some time now. When and how is the real question. There's something called shards, and what they're gonna do is give you the ability to get AI shards and plug them into your ship so that you can have like an AI run a mining laser. The problem with this is the odds of them just blowing up the rock or what have you sound like they're gonna be pretty high. I think it's gonna be better for people to use the AI for things like probably combat. They won't be as good as a player, but putting a shard in an empty turret is better than just having an empty turret. With mining, I think I would prefer crew, and there will be hireable crew in the game again at some point soon, TM type stuff, where you should be able to go to like a major hub, meet up with some AI and hire them, right? We don't really know what that's gonna look like, so I'm holding my breath on that one for now. But yeah, I will probably always prefer having real player characters on my ships for mining. What dude? Oh, an elite. What, he can't fend for himself? Are you sure? That is 17,900? This must be a ton of little rocks. Okay, so this broke up into a bunch of smaller clusters. Let's check this one out. One of the issues with planetary mining is you go through hydrogen fuel a lot faster, so we'll have to keep our eye on that.
Mining mode on.
Those are meant for a hand mining laser. Blow them up, waste our time. Scan. Move on to the next. Okay. The AI crew and elite were kind of derpy. Yeah, what's kind of derpy in this game is the amount of entities that it thinks that you're trying to persistently stream. So they've been trying to get this thing called persistent entity streaming working. And that's why we're seeing so much lag right here, and then it'll randomly catch back up. I talk a lot of smack on my system. This is not a my system issue. This is a game issue. Ooh, crystal candies sound really good, like rock candy. I know how to make rock candy, actually. This is literally just boiling, like, corn syrup. Flavor.
Systems activating. Systems on.
Nickel to meet you in Bongo.
Extraction mode.
Rock candy? Cooking stream? Maybe. Maybe at some point.
Fracturing mode on.
I don't think I have what's necessary to run a setup for a cooking stream at the moment. That stuff is hard to make, I will say.
Extraction mode on. Fracturing mode on. Extraction mode on. Fracturing mode on.
Boreas is trash. Bexlite, heck yeah. We are not in range for a laser to work on like anything, so we want to go a little to the right, make sure we pick up that Bexlite. I will say though, it is running very, like, jumpy. What you see where it's like static and then I shoot forward, that's not just the stream, like that's actively what's happening. And that's part of mining on the planet right now. Just doesn't want to work very well. It's pretty unfortunate as it stands. I will try to pick up this Bexlite rock, but then after that, I think it is probably in our best interest to move on. As this persistent entity streaming is causing a bit of an issue here. As far as being able to do things smoothly on a number of ends. Those ads. Yeah, we're in ads. Okay. we'll need that laser. I wish it wasn't, like, jumping back and forth so hard. This also, like, this server jump makes it very difficult to actually manage multiple lasers at the same time. You have to have a crew that is good at communicating and hearing each other and understanding their job in their laser. So, like, for example, if I were in this laser, I would see right here, I can only give it a minimum of 30% power. So when we're trying to do fine-tuning, I'm not the one fine-tuning. If I'm in the front main Mega Buster laser, I know that my one job is to give it power, and in order to make that one a little bit more engaging, I gave it a couple of actives, both because they're good, and because if I'm running multi-crew, I don't want them to just be like, full power, I'm done. They have the active for making it so that the rock is less likely to do damage when it explodes, like its critical mass. When we get into that red zone, you can toggle that button to stop it from doing as much damage. If the Mega Buster laser and all other lasers are struggling to get damage onto a rock, it has the ability to get add to that pretty easily. At the tap of a button, and I wanted that on the one with the most power so that they could see, like, if there's a big jump, they can make a big adjustment. If there's a tiny jump, or if it's just then starting to kind of... Can we just aim at the rock, please? Or if they make, like, a little tiny jump, they can make a little tiny adjustment. That way, the one that's actually doing most of the power can be in control of the power. This one is our fine-tuning laser, and so when both of the other ones having minimum percent of 30 are like, this rock's a little small, this one goes in and it does the fine adjustments. Yeah, the flashlight is running. The movement that you see... Oh my god. Is actually from wind drift. So the wind will actually pick up your ship and start moving it if there's nobody in the pilot seat to make those minor adjustments for you. So we're gonna have to actually go back up, move the ship a little bit, and then we'll be able, let's see if we can pick up any of the Bexolite with this. And then once we're done with this Bexolite rock, I don't really like needing to compensate for server and planet. Compensating for the planetary winds and things like that is one of the added immersions, is what we'll call it, to doing planetary mining. And I don't really have an issue with that so much as I have an issue with not being able to aim because of the server. I did not think that server persistent health was as bad as it was. But it is not a smooth experience planet-side mining right now. it is quite difficult just to keep up with the aiming against delayed input. Yeah, the flashlight is somewhat necessary, but for now, we will head back out to the Aaron Belt. It's going to be a little bit more conducive. This is one of those things where planet-side mining, I want to say 323, like patch 323 and patch 322, or we're in 323 right now. So patch 321 to 322, from what I can recall, were pretty good. I didn't feel the way that I'm feeling right now where I'm battling against server input delay. It felt doable. The sun is rising. This planet also gets really hot. You start to burn up in those mining arms. They put a lot of attention to detail and things like that. Let's go ahead and... Actually... Yeah, you know what? We are going to head back out to her L2 and then make the jump from there. Right now I'm flying keyboard and mouse because I feel like having a little bit of fun with that. I learned on a 40% keyboard. And it's nice to kind of do that from time to time. We're gonna do is we're out at her L2 right now. I'm gonna take a slightly different route to the Aaron Belt. That would be Arc L4. Arc L4, I want to be between 9.3 and 8.3. There we go. It's just the game runs smoother out in the Aaron Belt right now. And when you're worried about blowing up rocks in a way that are gonna, like, strip components off of your ship, it's not worth fighting the server. That's just one of the difficult things about it, right? Arc L4, Arc L4, 9.3... to 8.3, that's right. It is nice, yeah. Being able to just kind of like float around, and also it's just way more appealing than slowly sinking into a desert planet. Well, dude, come on. To 8.3. Have some sleepy times. And let's get to scanning. No visuals on the scan. There we go. 1800. Let out to this fella. Two fat cats sleeping next to you. This will be our last mining run of the day. Got a couple of things to get to here after. We did get a late start. I was contemplating going a little bit longer today. I don't think that we're gonna do that. I think we're just gonna make sure to be on time tomorrow. Tomorrow, what do we have for tomorrow? Let's take a look here. Why am I struggling with this? Why am I struggling with the most basic thing? I should know what's happening every day. There we go. Tomorrow is Monday. We will be doing a mix of Noita as well as Star Citizen tomorrow. When we're doing Noita, anybody that's active in the chat can vote every minute or so on what happens in the world around the game. You can blow me up, you can spawn extra monsters, you can spawn little ghost friends, you can do a whole bunch of extra stuff that actively happens in the game in real time. I think somebody spawned in a Christmas demon yesterday, which was... oh, there he is. Quite interesting. For tomorrow, with Star Citizen after Noita, we will likely be doing some trade runs to break up the monotony of always mining. You can't mine every single day. You gotta do a little something else. And our first moment out here, and we find ourselves a nice 41,000 golden nugget. This thing is huge. This thing is huge. What in the heck? What? I don't know if we're gonna be able to break this. This is one of those moments that I warn about regularly when it comes to solo mining in a mole. Do we have the tools necessary? Yes. Do we have the crew necessary? God, I hope so. It's a massive gold nugget.
Systems activated. Systems on.
Even the strongest laser with added bonuses can't cut it. Can't do it. It's just too big of a rock. Once you break... So, most of the time I feel like I could probably do a 30,000. Depends on the composition of the rock. 40k, 40k gold rock, you gotta stop and try. I didn't think we were gonna get anything out of that, but you can't just not. Can't just not. You have to give it a shot. Can I center my screen, please? Thank you. And app scan 1800. We'll head out to this fella. Looks like heading out to Arc L4 was the call, though. Nice big ol' mega nugget. You gotta love them nuggies. If we had one more person, it's a maybe on that 40k, because we have a couple of pretty powerful lasers. If we had 3 people in total, that rock would have been toasted. Completely roasted. The roasted. Just done. Toasted nuggets. It's also a pretty big. Oh, it's not big, it's just we're close up to it. 3200. We will hop into our back left laser. One of the things I'm really excited about when it comes to the Arastra is instead of needing to run around like this, there'll be a command deck with remote lasers in it, and you can just get out of the pilot seat, turn, and get into the gunner seat. You don't have to... Oh my god, Give it to me! I need it. This one's a barrel nugget. Getting your cardio this way. Yeah, my whole little bit of time of doing cardio in a chair. The fingy exercises. Wow, this one really just wants to go. See, this is only taking 20% power from our weak laser.
Warning.
Shit.
Power critical. Warning. Power critical. Extraction mode on. Attack on shield.
Oh, that's just aluminum. We don't want that. Our cardio this way. I like that argument, but also, like, when it comes to just ease of access for doing something like this, the amount of time saved not needing to run around a ship with ladders and all of this stuff just to get to another mining head when you're solo mining is going to be huge. Like, so something that we've talked about on each of these mining streams is 2.5. So that's pretty soft, isn't it? I mean, I can bend aluminum, right? Got aluminum foil. I feel like that's my reference scale for it, though, is just aluminum foil. What, 3440? That's two 1720s. Let's go. While we float out to that one, I'll go ahead and check out a few others. We landed right in a nice cluster. Pretty lucky. Pretty lucky. Do you think somebody could just, like, punch pure aluminum and it would leave a little fist print? Or is that, like, not a thing? Yeah?
mode on.
What do we got here? $25K. 25K quant. Yo. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Please let us be able to break this. This is... this is a payday. This right here is a payday. Please. Please.
Fracturing mode on. Mining mode on.
Willkommen in 87.
Warning, power critical. 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 Attack on shields.
Hey, what up, Luna? Yeah, well, we'll see if any of the quants survived. Yes! So, 1,500, or about... yeah, that's a good... yes! Oh my god. For such a bad break, that is a really good break. That means that we got almost, so it was 25,000 mass, and it was 25% quant, and now we have like 4,000 and 8,000, so half of the rock exploded, and we still ended up with about 50% each, which is 12,000, or 6,000, which is roughly 25% of 28,000, right? I don't know. Math. We got a lot of quant. We got a lot of quant. I mean, it was a shit break, but it worked. We got a lot. So, we've got... oh, and there's another little break over here. So... we've got... nothing important. 44.2%, so 1,200 mass. So about 600. And 47 of 8,100, so about 5K out of 24K.
Eager to meet you in Bongo.
Yeah, that's... so we lost about 5% of the total rock that was Quantanium. If the rock was 100% and Quantanium was 25%, we basically shaved it down to 20%. We got 4/5 of the available Quantanium right here. You've never been... wait, proud of me for what? I'm confused. What? You what, mate? Ooh, got the coughs. Got the cough.
Fracturing mode on.
Right, do we need to fracture this? Don't need to fracture that. We do need to fracture this, however. It is labeled as impossible. I have my doubts. to hop over to our right laser to see if that one can handle it. We don't have as much freedom on this one to go down below 30%, so it's a little iffy, but it does have more power. Did I miss a meme? Am I not? What's 9 plus 10? 21.
Extraction mode on.
This one also says
Mining
impossible.
mode on. Fracturing mode on.
Okay, right back up to the power laser,
Mining mode on.
which is kind of a shame because we don't have a lifeline module in that anymore. The lifeline module basically makes it so that we don't blow it up the way that we blew it up last time. The way that we blew it up last time actually wasn't so critical because of the lifeline module. Yeah. But we don't have that module, so we have to be extra careful now. See y'all creeping in chat. Y'all being creepers. See you.
Fracturing mode on. Mining mode on. Extraction mode on.
I'm gonna dial it in here.
Warning. Power critical. 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 Warning. Power
Why did it go up to 38? That's fucking bullshit.
on shields.
Okay, did we keep any of the quant? Please. It looks like we got the majority of the quant in that one rock right there. This one's just straight up corundum. We're just gonna...
On. Warning. Power critical. Warning. Power critical. Warning. Power critical.
Okay, so we've got about 2K, maybe about 3K quant. So about 30 SCU of quant. 30 SCU of quant is still 50,000 UEC, $50,000 per SCU. So it's still about 150 grand off of next to no storage space. It's really difficult to mine a quant rock of that size with the limited crew that I have right now. So I had to focus, okay? I had like a razor thin green margin that I had to work with. It was not like that, dude. I am disappointed that it blew up the way that it did, though.
On. Mining mode on. Extraction mode on.
Only 7 SCU. I did my math all sorts of borked, but 7 by 50,000 is, or is it 25,000? It's 25,000. This number has gotten much smaller over the course of the last 2 seconds. 7 by 25,000 is 1,000. 100, it's still 150,000. I don't know how I borked the math so bad earlier. And still got the right answer. Yeah, it's both rocks. Because that one's just corundum. I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit. We're gonna try and fill up on literally anything real quick. 6K. Whatever this is, we're just trying to fill up. I just don't want it to be corundum. If this is another quant rock, I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind. Yeah, it's still a good chunk of change. Like, I don't think anybody's gonna complain about having 7 SCU of quant. That's good money. Flying keyboard and mouse again real quick, just to... Not worth our time. Okay. We've got a little over 20 minutes right now. That's why I swap back to keyboard and mouse, is we're just on a time crunch. Keyboard and mouse is how I learned to play this game. It's gonna be faster for me to fly like this. 26,000 Laranite. Not worth our time. This is like speed picking right now, just against the clock. Just, it's not worth our time, not because it's cheap materials, but because it's too big. It's gonna end up eating through the vast majority of our time that's left. Yeah, corundum is dirt cheap. I'll normally pick it up, but if I'm gonna already have, like, Quantanium in the same workload, I'd rather just get something, anything even a little bit better. Even aluminum is better. It's just really, really cheap material. Oftentimes I'll take inert over corundum because there's ways to filter out inert material. And when you're filtering out inert material, it actually lowers the amount of space that it's taking up on your rig. But if you are picking up corundum, there's no way to filter out corundum. So you just end up losing space for something that's dirt cheap. Again, I'll normally pick up just about anything, but I just can't with corundum. It's... Even as somebody who prides themselves as a non-picky person, This is perfect. This is a 9K Terranite rock. It's higher end. It's not super, super big. But yeah, corundum's just not great. Come on, I don't have time, doors.
Extraction mode on.
19 minutes.
Mining mode on. Action mode on. Warning, power critical. Warning, power critical. Warning,
Why?
power critical.
Oh yeah, there's cave mining. Yeah. Typically what you do is you go out to some of these different craters around certain moons. Some are more populated. Some are bounty hunter traps. Some PvP traps, if you will. Some are just little areas. I mean, basically you just go down into a giant hole and you start mining. Sometimes people will spawn a mission out there, and so you might end up with like angry NPCs in a hole with you. It is fun though, I will say.
Extraction
Not how I choose to spend my time personally, but I could see why a person would.
Warning, power critical. Warning, power critical. Warning, power critical. Warning, power critical. Attack on shields. Extraction mode on.
You don't, you hand mine. So what you do is you go out with a hand mining laser and get to work. I think y'all saw the little prison escapade that I did. Oh, but we just knocked out other prisoners. That wasn't really mining. But yeah, you take a hand mining laser, and you collect everything you can. You typically want to take a really big backpack so you can get more gear.
Warning, power critical. Warning, power critical. Warning, power critical. Warning, power critical. Attack on shield. Construction Warning, power critical. Warning, power critical. Warning, power critical. Warning, power critical.
There's no way it's already been 5 minutes. That's crazy. Okay, we gotta go. I'm glad that I didn't spend the time to try and, like, hop out to another laser. I don't know. We are barely gonna get in under the wire before the ship explodes from having Quantanium on it. Harvesting nuggets. The good old harvesting nuggies timeline. Oh man, now I want like chicken nuggets or something. That sounds bomb as fuck. Yeah, so when I'm saying like we only have a certain amount of time after we get Quantanium in order to get back to the station, that's like no joke. You have a 25-minute period of time until... I think you're right. Where's Hurston? Okay. Oh yeah, we went to a different place this time around. Yeah. Big ol' ship go burr. Game science. I don't know. Oof. I do not like that sound. We're not gonna jettison the cargo. I think we still have time. We had 14 minutes when we started the quantum jump, so we should be fine. It's not a 14-minute jump, though. I mean, like, we gotta let the quantum drive cool down anyways, so let's just hop out of Quantanium. So... yeah, it's just being a big ol' salty baby. We got 11 minutes. The times that this is, like, actually a problem is if you're out mining, like, deep space, like, out near Magnus Jump Point or something. But even then, Magnus Jump Point, the farthest point you can actively jump to in Stanton, has a refinery on it. I just don't see the point in putting an XL1 in the mold. It is very menacing. It's more anxiety-inducing than it needs to be. Like, we're big chillin'. Like, we are fine. We are gonna hit the gas on the way into this station this time around, however, instead of coasting in. So I feel like I normally take a long time coming back into station.
You are clear to launch. Contacting EDL landing assist. complete. Have a pleasant stay.
Exit off.
Smoothest landing yet. Probably hand mining. Hand mining is gonna have, like, no menacingness to it at all. Except for maybe Copion, which are the new animals, actually. They do like to hang out in a lot of the caves. So you may actually run into, like, these dog-like creatures that might try to kill you. Is there anything non-menacing at this point? That's a good question, actually. Trade? But then you're always wondering whether or not you're gonna get caught out by pirates. You, like, know, right? But you can,
To the ASOP
trick them onto
vehicle
your ship and
retrieval
then bring
system.
them onto a space station where they will just go around killing people who can't pull their guns out to defend themselves. It is hilarious. It is quite fun. People have stopped doing it. I don't know whether or not that's because we can't anymore. We might have to figure that out. We might have to go trick some dogs onto a space station. See whether or not it'll let us. See if there's any public statements about that not being allowed anymore. Let's see. Non-threatening loops. There are delivery missions. You just go pick up a package and you bring it somewhere else. That's it. You make like 7,000. This is typically what people who get like the very affordable Aurora do. When they first start playing the game, they typically get a starter package. We'll go over that here in just a second. I want to make sure I get the right... I did not do that. We are on a crunch, sir. We have a ship in the hangar that's ready to go. I do. $82 hours, 14K. Nice. It's our... So we'll get 6... Yeah, 7 SCU of Quantanium, because it rounds up. Yeah. Well. What were we saying? We're saying that the, Quantanium... Not Quantanium. Delivery missions are something that are typically done in an Aurora.
Until further notice.
So the Aurora is the affordable starter ship that a lot of people begin with, and you get little missions that are basically go to place, pick up package, take package to place. You don't pay anything, you're just delivering something for somebody. There are illegal versions of this mission, which can also net you quite a bit more. Yeah, courier missions. And then from there, I normally recommend, like, if somebody's going to start playing the game, you can get it for $30, do a couple courier missions, and then rent ships. And then make a ton of money with those ships that they rented while they test out whether or not they even like them. And then, if they don't like it, rent out a different ship with the money you made. And if they do like it, maybe even just get the ship. Ain't no harm in it. Ain't no harm in it at all. Wonder if we have... Oh yeah, I was gonna show you all the,
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
what was it? The stealth bomber, but I don't seem to have it anymore. Ah, the Eclipse.
Your insurance claim has... Thank you.
And then, as far as starter ships are concerned, the Anvil Arrow is one.
Your insurance claim has been sent. Thank you.
the arrow, the trying to think. The Drake Herald is a starter ship. It's at least in that price point. This one you can really only do the courier missions on. I mean, you could do more, but most people don't, I think. The Sulin is 100% a starting ship.
Your vehicle has been moved to our storage facility. Your insurance claim has been thanked.
The Sulin is my favorite starting ship, mind you. Prospector. This Prospector is normally what I recommend people to mine with. Here, I'll show you. In 30 seconds. I think you were drawing a Sulin the other day. Yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. The triangular one, the one with 3 points. Ooh, nice. I'm gonna show you a paint jobbed version of it.
Your vehicle has been delivered. Please visit us again.
I absolutely love this ship. I think it is an excellent starter ship for anybody that's interested in getting into the game. It has decent weapons. It has a gas tank made like an absolute unit. It has 3,000 fuel. You can go anywhere in this thing. This paint job is a unique one, so what you were seeing as reference probably didn't involve that. But the inside, super cool if it works. So here's all the ship components where, you know, like your quantum drive, things like that go. I believe this is just the stairs. Yeah. More units for stuff to go. Little gun rack. You can put like 4 pistols, 2 rifles, maybe even like a med gun, tractor beam, that kind of stuff. This is supposed to be a spot where you can like keep suits, but they haven't really figured that part out yet. I don't know what this button is supposed to do. I've been playing with it, but I just don't know. And then you have several floors. The first one we were just in. This one will pop out a little seat. Or it's supposed to. Why won't my seat work? Ah. Well, normally a seat will pop up there. It's just a place to plant your butt. You got a little bathroom. This ship is amazing. You got a bed, bed has storage, so you can actually put some stuff in there that's like unique from the main storage of the ship, so that you can actually get to it while you're flying around in space. I am trying to get to the light switch that's in the bed, actually. It's surprisingly difficult to do that, actually, believe it or not. Oh yeah, you have to actually hit the different corners. Okay, get out. Get out of the bed. Get out of the bed. And then you have the third floor of the Sulin. And the third floor of the Sulin is quite literally just the pilot's chair. But then you have these fun little spaces right here with even more places to put things, hide things. But the seat is awesome. It's super cool. Now,
Systems activated.
You are clear to launch.
when you're going to launch in this thing, its orientation is a little weird. So, like, forward is up from the landing position, right? So this is forward. And then we're trying to go down so that we can go forward out of the hangar. So hangar landing is a little funky. Because you can't, like, you can't retract your landing gear until you're out of the hangar for a couple of reasons. One being that when you do retract your landing gear, it looks like this. It just completely widens your dimensions, and then it's very difficult to actually move inside of a confined space like that.
Thank you, and please visit again.
Sure, yeah. There we go. I think that's quite enough for the screenshots. We got a few good ones. Yeah, I love this ship. It is definitely one of my favorites. It has triangular weaponry too. I set it up with cannons. It comes natively with repeaters, so it's just like, it's super cool. And then when you switch over to the missiles, it shoots 3 missiles at a time. Everything's in threes. Oh yeah, I forgot that I have like splitting missiles. Let's go ahead and get this landed down on a landing pad, because I hate landing it in the hangar. I'm not good at it. I'll be honest, it's a skill issue. We're being honest today. I'm just bad at it.
Landing gear down.
I hate playing this thing.
Launch complete.
Yeah, we did. We figured that out on stream. Unless you ended up taking a nap, you were definitely there. We did get it working. It's just a little finicky. So auto land is definitely a thing. Right now, so one of the major complaints that you'll hear from the community is server stability, and it's the one thing. Now, I try to be very positive about the game, what they're giving us, what they have given us, what you get for your money if you're not an absolute idiot and spend thousands on a video game, right? Whale's gonna wail. Whale's gonna wail about not getting what Whale paid for. They out there wailing, being sad and miserable that they spent too much money. It's nobody's problem but their own. But the one thing that I'll give to anybody who has a complaint about this game is that they need to work on server stability. It's just a thing that needs to happen. If you have a whole game, granted, they're working on a lot of things like persistent entity streaming and a lot of really cool stuff that I hope does
Welcome
work.
to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
A game that runs smoothly is really, I think, what a lot of us are asking for at this point. I don't think that you're going to find anybody that disagrees with that. I'm on the outside of what most people who play this game do, and I typically am like, don't spend money. Want something different? Don't buy into the same thing that you already bought into that didn't give you what you wanted in the first place, right? But all that to say, the auto land, it works. You just have to kind of like reposition. You might as well learn how to land. Just because sometimes it's going to work, sometimes it's not. Sometimes you're going to get server delay. Sometimes you're going to feel like it's not going to work, and then it'll start working after you're already halfway landed. Might cause confusion, other things like that. It's not that it doesn't work, it's that it doesn't work in the current state of the game as well as I would like it to. It's really a preference thing at that point, and it has less to do with... It's not that it doesn't work, it's that I want it to work better. It's really that simple. But yeah. I think, as it stands right now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and sign off and just remind everybody that we're doing a little bit of Noita tomorrow before we go on to do some trade runs. Noita is a game where you're able to actively interact with the world and what happens in the game through a vote that happens every minute. If nobody votes, something automatically random will happen. And after that, we will go ahead and hop on over and do some trade routes and have a little bit of fun in Star Citizen and continue having the best possible time while running trade. And hopefully we run into some pirates, because we haven't been running into pirates lately. And kind of really hope that we do, because they kind of suck at stealing your shit. And I just want to go over a few things about not getting pirated, because it's really not that hard. Anyways, have a good one.